What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to inside England's most luxurious train, the British Pullman. You know, I'm really excited about this video. It's been such a long time since I've been on a train, and I wouldn't ever say I've actually been on what you would consider a luxurious train. I've been on what we have here, which is the Amtrak, I don't know, a handful of times, going back and forth to Florida and whatnot. But it was a really cool experience, and I really enjoyed every time I've been on a train. But I've always wondered what it would be like to be like, kind of in a nicer train, or maybe even having my own car, or like, I know some train cars have like beds and stuff. I've never been in anything like that. All I've been on is like a train where you sit in a seat and whatnot. I don't even think we were fed or anything anytime I've been on those trains. It's been a long time, but anyways, guys, trains are just awesome. You get to see unique parts of a country that you don't generally get to see driving down a road or on a bus or, anything like that. So anyways, guys, I came across this video and I thought this would be a really interesting one to check out. So let's go ahead and dive in and learn about England's most luxurious train, the British Pullman.
Today, I'm taking England's most luxurious train, the iconic British Pullman. Let's lift the veil on this exclusive train, reserved for the lucky few, all as we glide through the beautiful English countryside.
Wow,
we'll
man.
settle into the best seats on board, a private first-class compartment, complete with free-flowing champagne, 5-course Michelin-starred dining, and all whilst being pulled along by the Queen's royal locomotive. Step back into the roaring 20s as we explore the various classes along this 11-car private train, with each carriage as unique and opulent as the last. To start this epic adventure, let's head to London's historic Victoria Station on a rare sunny British summer's morning.
Hello there and welcome back to the channel. You join me today at London Victoria Station, where we're off on another luxury train.
I've been wanting to check out some of the different train stations. This looks like a really cool one. But that was really interesting. I just noticed that like the train, it's got a very kind of old world style feel or something. Like it looks like you're going back into like, I don't know, the 20s or something. Very interesting.
So without any more to say, let's go and find out where we're going to catch this exotic train from. I believe it's platform 2. I believe I found it. Got to follow the music, right?
Of course there's a welcome party. This is no ordinary train. Belmond offer a private lounge adjacent to platform 2. There's space to kick back in and sip some champagne, all whilst you wait in anticipation for your opulent journey to begin. Today, however, we don't have to wait long, and after having our tickets checked, we're through onto the platform. Here we're met with the Class 67, the Queen's Messenger.
Wait, was it, okay, those singers, were they singing or were they dancing on the outside? Is that just part of the kind of show, so to speak? Is that like, are they trying to kind of give you that back in time feel? Because that's what I was getting from that.
This is one of 2 locomotives which pull the royal train.
I've been informed that we're in coach Xena today. I have actually got a little bit of research to do behind each of the carriages that we're going to be trying out today.
So as alluded to, there's a lot to see on this train. Each of the 11 carriages are unique and boast a diverse history, from carrying the Queen to being part of Churchill's funeral train. Now that's an eclectic mix.
Wow.
So we're in Xena, built in 1928 and serving as a first-class transfer car.
I said 1920s. Okay, well that now is beginning to all fall in place. Okay, that's really cool. So you can get, not only is it a luxurious train, but it's like you've got this ability to feel like you're back in time, nearly 100 years. That's cool, man.
To the transatlantic ocean liners. It even carried the French president Vincent Auriol during his state visit in 1950. Now for our private room. There are 2 of these in each carriage. I'll explain exactly how much this cost in just a minute.
That looks cozy, man. Look how comfortable those chairs look.
Well, strangely, it feels like I'm back on the Orient Express with a bit of a twist, mind you. Whilst I get myself settled, I think it's probably time to introduce my companion today.
Ah yes, please welcome my lovely girlfriend Millie back to the channel. We immediately get stuck into the strawberry wine served in these little teacups, which I initially thought was fruit tea, and I got quite the surprise. With departure just a matter of minutes away, let's switch it up with a delicious glass of champagne. And the bubbles of choice are Veuve Clicquot, just like on the Orient Express.
Okay, do people really think champagne tastes delicious? I mean, is that the word you would use? I gotta tell you, I have never been a wine or a champagne fan. I just, nah, man, not my thing. Definitely enjoy a good beer though. My wife, she likes a little bit of wine, but you know, I've just never been able to get into either wine or champagne. That's just like, just give me a beer, man. Yeah, straight up.
As we sip away, all of a sudden the train lurches forwards, and much to our delight, we're off on our luxury adventure. So where are we going?
I love that feeling, man.
The first leg of our trip will take us a couple of hours over to the seaside on the east coast of England. As we trundle out of London, passing landmarks like the Battersea Power Station, the River Thames, and gorging on canapes, let's take a look around this compartment.
Look at that, man. What is that? Looks good. I don't have a clue what that is exactly, but that really looks good. But do you notice, like, there's just something awesome about like, being on a train. Well, I can't really pull up that frame, but you know, it's so interesting how you see this different side of the towns and the countryside that you're going through than you could ever see, you know, driving a car.
On canapes, let's take a look around this compartment of ours. Xena has capacity for 24 passengers, with compartments located at the front and the rear. These have space for up to 4 guests, with comfy armchairs, which in our case, as there's only 2 of us, provides an additional seat for Millie's bag. You do get some overhead storage though as well, however it's suggested you check larger bags with your attendant. There's even a door for elevated privacy, however not practical during lunch service. Everywhere you look, the attention to detail is impeccable, with intricate polished woodwork and brass. Even the emergency pull cord features gold lettering. The windows open too at the top, providing much needed ventilation on a warm day like today. Millie and I were just saying...
Oh, is there no AC? But that's so cool that you can actually open the windows, man. That'd be amazing.
You trick yourself into this 1920s bubble, only to be pushed back into reality with the passing of the 11:30 Crawley Express.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'm not sure about you, but I'm starved. Let's take a look at what's on this 5-course menu this afternoon. Whilst it's a set menu, you can let Belmont know ahead of time.
All right, hold on. I want to see this English Heritage Baby Beetroot, garden pea and courgette soup, mint oil. Filet of Welsh lamb, British Pullman seasonal cheese selection, rhubarb and custard, handmade chocolate truffles. That sounds good.
Of your dietary requirements, and they'll adapt accordingly. Our table is set beautifully with silverware and crockery designed especially for this train. Those salt and pepper shakers certainly give the virgin upper class ones a run for their money.
So you're probably wondering what exactly the route is today, and this route that we're on today is a total of, let's see, it's a total of 170 miles through the British countryside.
Wow,
of course,
man.
This isn't the only route this train goes on. In fact, in ordinary times, when the Dover-Calais delays are resolved, this train runs the British leg of the Orient Express. Yes, the Eurostar I took a couple of weeks back is not the norm.
Orient Express.
To our excitement, our appetizer is...
Why do I know that name? Obviously I do. Is that a book or something? Please let me know in the comments exactly what that is. I know it, but I can't think off the top of my head what that is. I need to look into that because for some reason I do know that, and I'll probably realize why I know it as soon as either I see something about it in the comments or I check it out myself. But yeah.
Is now served. English Heritage Baby Beetroot with caramelised white onion and ricotta. Now, to be totally honest, beetroot would not be my first choice. However, I found this dish to be delicious, fresh and light. the perfect introduction to our lunch of champions.
Well, our first course is out of the way. I think there's something I've actually forgotten.
Your blazer looks a bit empty.
It does, doesn't it?
Well, you'll be relieved to know that despite the strict dress code, NASA will still be represented today. Let's head over to the beautifully mosaicked bathroom. There are 2 of these in each carriage, designed quite differently, featuring a unique mosaic at your feet.
Oh, dude.
They also
That's
feature
cool.
stained glass windows, fresh flowers, and Penhaligon amenities. Oh, and something I didn't realise, that due to their age, you cannot flush these toilets in the stations, and that's because everything just flushes straight onto the tracks. And I mean everything. Okay, let's get those hands washed and sort my...
What? Okay, that's a little bit odd and gross. So, okay. Reminder, if you're on that track that this train goes, do not walk along the train tracks. Well, I mean, you shouldn't do that anyway. But let's be honest, growing up, how many kids didn't walk along the train tracks? I know growing up, I spent a lot of times traveling up and down the train tracks, because I'd walk everywhere. And that was a way that I, a quick way to get from one side of town to the other and things like that. So, like I said, I didn't grow up riding trains, but I moved out to the country when I was, about 11. But before that, I was living in kind of a very small town, and pretty rural kind of town. It didn't have much of anything, to be honest, but it was town nonetheless. I think we had, growing up, I probably had about 4,000 or 5,000 people in my town, so nothing big. But we had a train track going through all the way through town. So I spent a lot of time growing up. We'd go down to the trestle where the train track would go over the river, and there you would jump into the river and go swimming and things like that. It was really fun times. But that's interesting that it flushes over the tracks. I would have never guessed that, especially now back in the day, yeah, but you would have thought they would have put some sort of tank on the track. I don't know if that's possible though. I don't really know a lot about trains, but I would have just thought, just kind of like airplanes, they would have just had some sort of tank or something.
NASA situation out. Much better. Now to head back for our next course, soup. To be specific, it's garden pea and courgette served with fresh bread.
Oh my goodness, that bread looks good. But do you guys where is that? Hold on. Where in the world is, oh, there it is. I've never had pea soup. I like peas. I like sweet peas. I guess that's what that is mashed sweet peas or something. But is that any good?
Pea and courgette served with fresh bread.
That looks good.
Mind
The
you,
bread looks
nothing
really
will
good.
compete with that Parisian bread we had a couple of weeks back, along with that dreamy saffron butter. Bread fantasy aside, the soup is divine. Thick yet silky smooth, creamy and delicious.
Looks good.
An ideal taster prior to the main event.
Oh man, look at that countryside.
With our soup now all but a memory, we're both excited for the main event. We've arrived into Ashford International Station and we appear to be stopped here for a short while. I'm going to take this opportunity to explore the source of this incredible food. Bear in mind, everything is cooked freshly on board, and I'm inquisitive as to where this is coming from.
Wow,
I
that's
don't have to search
impressive.
far. Just a couple of cars down, the kitchen is in full swing, plating up our main course. I still find it quite the feat to cook in such a space. I guess I'll make haste now we're back on the move to see what it's like.
Well, Millie, dinner is here. Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah? Got some lamb. That is one of your favourites, isn't it?
Looks so yummy.
Right, well, we'll have the full Millie review. Let me know what you think.
Thrilled to find one of our favourites for Maine, the fillet of Welsh lamb, and it's presented beautifully with potato, torched baby gem and cauliflower puree. Well, does it taste as good as it looks? I have to say that's among the very best lamb dishes I've ever had, aside of course from Millie's mum Helen's Easter special.
She is very topical. Field full of lambs over there. Is that bad taste? I mean, it probably is.
My poor dad jokes aside, what did Millie think of the dish?
It was delicious.
Was it good?
Looks like it. It's all
Look
gone.
at that.
With our main course done, we're almost at the seaside. The glamorous Margate beckons. Well, in fact, we're going to be stopping shortly at Broadstairs to get off and stretch our legs. And as this is a luxury train, we're welcomed to the station with a delicious glass of Veuve Clicquot. Taking the train is never going to be quite the same again.
Right, so we have now reached the halfway point. Dinner's almost over. I think we've got maybe one course left, is it, Millie? I think one, maybe one?
Two, I think.
So I can't keep count, to be honest. Of course, can you perhaps get any more civilised being at a station with a glass of champagne?
Well, it turns out yes you can, in the form of live jazz on the platform, of course. I'm telling you now, when Millie and I head back home to Bournemouth on Southwestern trains, it's going to be a harsh reality check.
Yeah.
Right, let's head
No
to
doubt.
the front of the train, because there's actually two locos attached today. At the front we have another Class 67, though this time not of the royal variety. This is Belmont's own, which matches the British Pullman carriages.
Well, after making it to the very front and leisurely drinking my glass of champagne, Millie and I have realised that we're actually probably going to end up getting left behind in Broadstairs. So let's make haste and get on board. Left in Broadstairs with no dessert. That's not the... We'll be intrigued to see around the rest of the train. And actually today, one of the carriages is completely empty. So it gives us the chance to see exactly what it's like with no one in, and also obviously respecting other people's privacy. So this is Lucille.
Lucille was constructed in 1928 as a first-class parlour car for use on the Queen of Scots Pullman before eventually serving the Bournemouth Belle in 1963.
The other benefit, of course, with no one being in here is I can show you exactly all the different seating arrangements that you can book.
It's worth mentioning the British Pullman train is for solo travellers too, at a cost of around $500, though it's most popular with couples, of which are
I guess it's not that bad for
now.
Right, well here
the experience
is what we could have
you
had,
get.
Millie. What do you reckon? Do you
It's a
prefer
whole
the
day.
compartment that we're in?
Yeah, definitely. It's more private.
Okay, let's sit down and enjoy another glass of champagne and talk about how much this all costs. Generally speaking, for a trip like today, you're looking at about $1,000 a couple. But remember, that's in the
couple.
main seating area of the carriage. But what about the compartment that I have today?
Here, there's actually an empty compartment. So this is kind of similar to what we have.
So I paid $1,400 for our compartment, which is certainly not cheap, but it
No.
depends on how you value your privacy or wanting to be in amongst the action of the main carriage and save $400.
Now, fun fact, I was told this incredible wood craftsmanship was actually done by the same family that designed parts of the features on the Titanic. Now that is either rubbish or very true and pretty impressive. And it doesn't surprise me given the age and history of these trains. Realising drinking and walking on a moving train is not something I'm used to at all.
Quite the profound statement there. Anyway, let's head back through the train. We still have another two courses to devour. Of course, the other carriages are pretty busy, so I'll be careful to limit the amount of filming as to not ruin the other passengers' experience. But here's a rough idea of what they look like. As you can see, there's quite a variety of styles throughout the train. It's also worth noting we got a
Very
signed
old
Xena by
world
random.
style.
I believe though you can call Belmont to specify your carriage preference.
Millie, what's just happened?
We're lost and found.
So yeah, I think we concerned everyone a little bit because we got on at the other side of the train. It meant that, of course, everyone else had gone back to their seats and we hadn't. So it's like, were we left behind?
Panic over, it's time for cheese.
Do you think you have enough room for yet more food?
We'll make room.
You got to try, haven't you? I mean, there's always room for cheese.
And room we made. The seasonal cheese selection consisted of Brie, Stilton and Red Leicester, which all tasted fantastic. As we'd been absent, our dessert came over almost immediately. The rhubarb and custard, of course.
Oh, that was good.
I have to say, this was a struggle due to the amount we'd eaten today, but we both made a solid effort. At this point, I believe the driver has decided to step on it. Perfect timing now that we have hot coffee being served. With no top bunk for you to laugh at me today, how about this one for the struggles?
I do not know if I have it in me to not spill this operator. Oh god. This is a challenge. How am I going to do this, Millie?
You can do it.
We're literally
Oh,
booning it.
I'm struggling to film.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. Ah. Have you didn't burn yourself?
Thankfully, we do appear to have slowed down a tad, allowing me to enjoy the rest of my coffee at leisure and not down my shirt. As promised earlier, I wanted to show you one of the other bathrooms. One carriage along, Vera I believe, you'll see quite the different look with this beautiful emerald stained glass window and mosaic artwork. Truly an excuse itself to go to the bathroom.
So I go to the bathroom, I come back, and Millie appears to have a purchase. What have you got here, Millie? Oh my goodness, look at this. What's he called? He's not Track the Bear, is he?
Track the bear.
Track.
Track the bear, man.
There is something else that our very kind steward today has given to me as a gift, and I absolutely love it. Check it out. A little British Pullman badge.
That's
which
cool.
I feel could probably sit next to the NASA for future trips. What do we reckon? London, Victoria. What an incredible afternoon out. Have you enjoyed yourself, Millie?
I have indeed.
Oh, I think we've had a good time. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you all again next week.
That was cool, man. I would love to ride on something like that because it would be a really good way to see kind of the countryside of the UK. I think it would be that'd be an awesome thing to do, you know, throughout the UK and Ireland. You know, I mean, just being able to, you know, being a tourist, there would be no better way to kind of explore, honestly. I got to keep that in mind. I hadn't really thought about that until today, but yeah, train would be an excellent way to go. You know, even not including the luxury trains such as this, I'm sure the trains are completely different from what I'm used to. Plus, exploring those train stations would be really interesting as well. But I thought this was really cool. Like, it was almost like he went back in time a little bit while he was on there. They seemed to serve delicious food and just an overall very comfortable, good experience. And what a way to see the countryside, like I said. Not just the countryside, but also, you know, you're going to come through a lot of different towns and things like that. Definitely interested in checking out something like that, you know, but I'd also like to look at some other trains, you know, in the UK and Ireland. And I know they're got to be completely different depending on the train. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me in my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.